thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. And I love those puns. And Joel, love that guitar. That's really well good of both of you. So retirement is it's an important period of time in anybody's life for men and women, particularly for men, when the career they may have given 40 years to and the social circle can come to an end, and it can lead to problems. This is a worldwide thing. Men retiring all over the world are having these issues, these challenges. But fortunately, there's a worldwide movement called Men's Sheds.
Men of all ages need a plan. Not having a plan can lead to feeling disconnected, isolated, and lonely. Loneliness increases the risk of physical and mental illnesses, including substance abuse and depression. Strong social connections are one of the best predictors of healthy living and longevity.
Since joining the Men's Shed, it's easy to get up in the morning, and I know I have a great day to look forward to.
That seeks to address that, and tonight my guests are John Boudreau and Kenn Hamble, who are starting a local chapter of Men's Sheds. Kenn and John, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Louis.
Nice to have you here. Yeah. So Kenn, could you give a little background about Men's Sheds? I understand it started in Australia. How did it get started, and how did it get all this way to where we are?
You're right, Louis. It's a movement that has its roots in Australia, where it's pretty common to for men to have a shed in their backyard, kind of thing. It's not something that we have so much here in the northern hemisphere, because we're a little weather restricted here. But it gradually grew into a more organized movement there. It started kind of in the late 1990s, and then around the mid 2000s, 2005, 2007, the first organized men's shed appeared in Australia, and from there it's really gone worldwide. 12, 13 different countries, somewhere close to 3,000 sheds worldwide.
So what are the significant things that Men's Sheds, the benefits for Men's Sheds? It's good for men, but it's also good for the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The basis of it is productive activity with social support.
Yeah.
And so someone once deemed a men's shed as some place to go, something to do, and someone to talk to. And so that's essentially what it is. The shed itself often has a workshop component to it, where various kinds of activities happen, from woodworking to metalworking to small engine repair, bike repair, that kind of thing, and also a lounging, sort of socializing area.
John, you spoke to me about purpose. This is an important component of Men's Sheds, what it's about. Could you speak a little bit about that, what that means?
Sure. You know, as men, we tend to desocialize when we're done working. And so that leads to being alone someplace and depression and all kinds of health problems around that. What a shed does is it gives you purpose. You know, you get up in the morning, you got a place to go to, you look forward to working with your fellow shedders and have a project that you're going to work with. So purpose, I think, is one of the key elements of it, and being able to share, as we say, shoulder to shoulder, working on a project to help give back to community. So.
Yes, I understand that the Vernon community, they've got their own Men's Shed organization, and they've been going for quite a while. And they speak about that. I think we got a little video where they speak about how men communicate more doing something, right, as opposed to how women. Maybe we'll run a little bit of that clip to see what they have to say and talk after that.
Women communicate more readily face to face. Men eventually can get there after some equity is established that comes by working shoulder to shoulder in the shop. Then the conversations start to flow.
So, Kenn, I'd like to ask, how did you, you're the founder of this, aren't you?
Here in Nanaimo, yes.
What was your inspiration? How did you get going with this? Let me ask you.
Well, kind of like John mentioned, I retired a number of years ago from active work, and moved here and found that my social circle had shrunk considerably. And so I was looking for things to do, organizations I could perhaps join up with, a place where I could do something that was purposeful. And in searching the internet, I discovered men's sheds. Discovered that there was a provincial association here in BC, made contact with them, and discovered that, yeah, there was a fairly simple, easily well-known process to begin and create and establish a men's shed. And so I thought, sounds great, that's exactly what I'm after.
Now, let's talk about the global aspect of this. Like, we've been established that men's shed is globally. Like, could you, John, what are some of the countries that men's shed is all over the world? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think Ken mentioned it started in Australia, and it's Australia, New Zealand. There's about 3,000, I think, right now around the world. So England, Ireland, all kinds of different countries throughout the world have started them, and are doing well with them.
Now let's bring it home then to Nanaimo. Tell me about how the status of the local men's shed chapter just started here. How is that now?
Well, it's progressing. I should say, Louis, that the term chapter is a little bit of a misnomer. Each shed is completely independent. The provincial association does not play a part in running sheds. It acts more as a resource and a support rather than an overarching controlling function. And here in Nanaimo, we started back in April, May of the past year, organized a public meeting, had an interview with one of the news outlets, the media, the Nanaimo News Now, and from there generated a fair bit of interest, where we've now come down to a core group of about 11 active members. And one of the first things and one of the main issues for a men's shed is to find a place to be a shed, a men's shed. And we were looking for a place, and we finally hooked up with an organization called the Connective Support Society here in Nanaimo, who had a facility and offered it to share with us.
Now there's something that men's shed, they benefit the community. And we have a little clip of what the Vernon community has done, I should say the Vernon Men's Shed group has done, and we'll just run that right now, and then we can talk about what the Nanaimo version of Men's Shed will do. So we'll just run that video clip and talk after that. So
our relationship just grew. We were doing a renovation on the first floor, and I was actually quite concerned trying to find a specific item, our job boards. I needed something that I couldn't find to purchase anywhere. And then it was like, oh, I wonder if the men's shed could help out with this. And so, yeah, got in touch with Don, and the crew came over. They figured out exactly what they needed, measurements. We just talked through the options, and they just created us the perfect product.
I'd like to ask, now, in terms of community projects, I know this is on your radar. Could you talk about what does the Nanaimo Men's Shed Group see about doing in terms of community projects in the near future?
Well, there's a number of them that we'll get involved in. I mean, having just started to get set up, we've got to get the tools set up and wood, et cetera, for projects. But there could be a project, for example, building, bird houses for raising funds for kids, or flower bed places that we can have for different community or organizations. There's a whole host of different things. So we're just on that cusp for getting set up for that. And we've done a few community things already. Spent some time helping Loaves and Fishes at one of their branches, et cetera. So it's about giving back to community, and it's about helping it to be a better place. So there'll be a more involvement as we go.
Are you excited?
Yeah, good opportunity to give back, right?
Well, that's awesome. So if people watching this program want to find out more about men's sheds and get involved, how might they do that?
Well, we don't have a website as yet. We're still formulating and setting it up. But we do have an email address. It's info@nanaimomensshed.org. And they can contact us that way, and we're happy to give them whatever information they would need.
Listen, John and Ken, thanks for joining me. And do you have any final thoughts, John or Ken, that you'd like to offer before we close tonight?
Go ahead.
Well, it's a great opportunity for folks who are looking to deal with issues of loneliness or isolation. The men's shed is a great place to do that, and there's ample evidence that it works.
I'd just like to spread the word to men out there who may be in places at home feeling lonely. Contact us, come out and work with us, and see if you like it.
Okay, let's hope that happens. Good luck, you guys. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Really great to have you on.
Thanks.